Here we've got the Amazfit GTS 3 and the Amazfit GTR 3. But where are the differences? So Amazfit decided to launch 3 smartwatches at the same time, and here we've got 2 of them. Both of these watches only cost 149 euros in the store, which makes them pretty affordable if you compare them to the likes of a Samsung Galaxy Watch 4, Apple Watches or the Fossil watches. Now, these watches are also compatible with Android 7 above and iOS 12 and above. But before we get too deep into these smartwatches, let me introduce myself. Hey folks, my name is Leonard, you're watching the product reviewer, and that's me. So first off, let's talk about the design of these smartwatches, and that's actually the biggest difference. By the way, if you didn't know, GTS S stands for square and GTR R stands for round case, just in case you didn't know, but it's pretty much self-explaining. So let's start with the GTS 3. This one has a big 1.75 inch AMOLED Ultra HD display with a resolution of 390 by 450 pixel. It is rocking an aluminum alloy body with a measurement of 42 by 36 by 9 millimeters. And you can get this watch in 3 different colors. You can either get it in this all black version, you can get it in Terra Rose or in Ivory White. The GTS is water resistant up to 5 ATM, so you can easily jump into the water and go for a swim. Also, any 20mm strap fits to this watch. But since we have a quick release function, you can swap them out anytime you want to. Also, since we have an OLED screen and 1000 nits, the colors look super nice and we have dark blacks. And even outside in the sun, you can read the screen fairly well. Also, we have a built-in GPS and a microphone, but we get to that later on in the video. Now, as for the GTR 3, this one is also rocking an aluminum alloy body, but it has slightly different dimensions. It has a 1.39 inch AMOLED touch display with a resolution of 454 by 454 pixel. Just like the GTS 3, we have built-in GPS, it is water resistant up to 5 ATM, and we get a 22mm silicone strap. Now, regarding the silicone straps of these watches, they are not the most comfortable and in my opinion not that great for sporty activities. But since we have a quick release feature, we can swap them out anytime we want to. Now, this watch weighs in at 32 grams with a dimension of 46 by 46 by 11 millimeter. One thing that I haven't mentioned are the physical buttons that we get on the side of the watch. The GTS has only one physical button with which you get to your app menu and back, or by long pressing it, you get to your Alexa voice assistant. Now, as you can see, the GTR 3 has 2 physical buttons. The upper one does the same as on the GTS 3, but the lower one takes you to your workouts. And if you don't like the connected apps, you can change what apps should be open when you press either of these buttons. The last 2 things I have to mention, that this watch also has 1000 nits, so you can read the screen very well in the sun, and you get this watch in 2 different colors. Now, you can get it in all black, which would be this one right here, or you can get it in gray. So let's head over to the battery life. And Amazfit says that the GTR 3 lasts about 21 days on normal usage, and the GTS 3 lasts about 12 days on normal usage. But as for my testing, I can say that these numbers aren't quite right. So I had the brightness level turned up all the way to the maximum. I got quite a few notifications. I have the always on display mode turned on. And of course I have all the health trackers turned on. And with all of that and a few workouts here and there, you get about 1 full week of battery life out of the GTR 3 and about 4 to 5 days of the GTS 3. Not quite what the Amazfit promised us, but a week is pretty good if you compare it to the Fossil Gen 6 or the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4, which only lasts about a day or a maximum of 2 days. So you also only have to charge them like once a week, which is enough battery life for a full hiking tour or a small vacation. As for the watch faces, both of these watches have over 100 different ones to choose from, starting from simple analog ones to digital ones, customizable ones on which you can change the metrics that are displayed, so you can decide if you want to see your battery life, heart rate, or rather the weather for the day. As for last, you get animated watch faces as well, which really look awesome. There aren't too many of them, but the ones you got are very nice. Now, if you got that far into the video, please smash the like button and subscribe to my channel if you are new. I upload 2 videos every week. And now back to the video. Another small part of these 2 watches is the music player. So you have no internal storage, so you cannot download any music files to this watch. If you want to do that, you gotta buy the Pro version of the GTR 3. These 2 are only able to control your music on your smartphone. So you can skip a track, go back a track, play and pause, and adjust the volume. But that's just about it. One of the biggest features of these 2 watches is the Alexa voice assistant. So once your Amazon account is hooked up with your watch or your Zepp app, you can ask Alexa anything you want to. So for example, what's the weather like today? Who's the president? And stuff like that. And once you're not connected to the internet, you still have your offline assistant. With this one, you can still open up apps, start a workout, and do some simple tasks like that. I think it's a great feature for smartwatches in this price range. Now, as I was testing these 2 watches, one thing really stood out which was the performance. Performance-wise, these two watches are very good. So there's no lagging when I'm swiping left and right, up and down, or if you open up apps. But one thing that really got on my nerves is closing out apps. So if I push the button on the side of the watch to go back to the home screen or back to the previous page, it always takes like 2 seconds until I'm there. And that is quite annoying. Also, sometimes on a watch face, it doesn't skip to the next watch face even though I'm swiping. So you really need to get the full range of motion in and start all the way at the edge of the watch and swipe all the way through. Now, those are actually the only things that I did not like about these smartwatches. I mean, you have over 150 different sport modes to choose from. You got all the sport modes covered out there, like walking, running, hiking, either in this list form or separated in categories so you can find them a little bit faster. You even have some crazy sport modes like board games like chess, leisure sports like kite flying or esports. At least it says sports in it. But anyways, before starting a workout, you can set some alerts. For example, if you hit a certain distance or pace, you can set some goals or run with the virtual pacer or cadence assistant. Next to all of these sport modes, you have other tracking features on these watches as well. You have a heartbeat tracker, sleep tracker, stress and blood oxygen tracker. But you also have one tap measuring that puts all of that together so you don't have to do them one by one. It only takes a few seconds, then you're able to read your results. Now, all of these stats can also be looked in the Zepp app. Over here you get to see the stats for the day, last week, month, or even the year. A few more things you can do over here in the Zepp app are that you can decide from which apps you want to get notifications from. Just toggle the apps off that you don't need and toggle on the ones you need. You can also set some alerts for your heart rate and your SpO2 level, download more watch faces in the store, or you can even download some apps in the App Store, even though you don't have the biggest variety over here. You have apps like a toothbrushing guide, SOS flashlight, or pregnancy assistant, whatever that's supposed to do. But overall, there are super many things that you can do and play around with and customize to your likings. Now, as well as the Zepp OS. So as I already told you, you can swipe left and right to get through your different tiles, swipe up to see your notifications. You may get notified from just about any app on your smartphone, but the only actual thing you can do is to read them and delete them. So there's no quick reply answers or anything like that. By the way, you don't have to swipe up and down with your fingers on the screen to go through your messages and apps. You can also just use your rotatable button to scroll through them. Now, if you swipe down, you get to your quick panel and you have the usual stuff over here like a flashlight, theater mode, D&D mode, and you can look at the battery life and turn on the battery saving mode. All pretty standard features. And folks, that's already it for the video. Now, if you want to click one of these videos right here, these are separate videos about the GTS 3 and the GTR 3, just in case you want to have a more in-depth look into them. And folks, that's it. See you next time. Peace.